Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland Brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. No matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland Brothers. Come on, begin it and join in the fun. Travel all over Australia.
Do you like mysteries? Well, this week we have a mystery in one of our stories. Up here in North Queensland at Bundaberg, or just inland from Bundaberg, are the mystery craters. Now, nobody knows how these craters were formed. They were discovered on a farm by a farmer while he was ploughing some new area.
And then for our wildlife lovers, we go to the Cleland National Park here in South Australia to take a look at Australia's native fauna. And then we move across to New South Wales to Hay. There we have a look at the famous Australian sheepdogs in action, the Kelpies.
Excused for thinking that I'm walking on the surface of the moon, but in fact we're in Queensland, not far from the township of Bundaberg, and these craters that are around me here are known as the mystery craters. We're here because Mandy Habale, and I'm not sure where she comes from because she didn't put an address on her letter, says, I would like to see the craters on a farm owned by Mr. and Mrs. Owen Murren at South Cleland in southern Queensland. The craters are still a mystery after 25 million years. Visitors say they resemble dinosaur footprints. What are your opinions? Well, Mandy, we'll have to have a look at them a bit closer before we can give you our opinion of these craters.
The mystery craters are not far off the highway, 28 kilometres from Bundaberg, on a farm owned by Owen and Aileen Murren. The strange craters cover an area of about 10,000 square metres and were discovered by Owen Murren whilst he was clearing and ploughing a virgin bush area to plant new crops. Long before the craters were uncovered, a water diviner had divined water here, and a bore was sunk to pump up fresh water. When the craters were uncovered, it was revealed that the borehole was sunk right in the centre of one of the craters. If it had been sunk anywhere else, they would have hit the rock. After Owen found the unusual rock formation, he tried to interest local and government authorities in helping him to excavate the earth from in and around them. He found that no one was interested in his discovery, so he went on alone and cleared the tons of soil from the formations, working sometimes at night under lights, particularly when he found something different.
Oh, and when did you discover these craters on your property?
Well, about 1971. We originally found them in 1971 while I was clearing down here. I was growing small crops and fooled around down here, hit rock, and it interested me so much that I just kept going from there. But it took about 2.5 years to clear this soil from here. There was about 1,200 yards of soil come out of the craters to this safe depth that we've dug them to, without any that came from the top, that was taken off the top.
And you just discovered it completely by accident?
It was only just an accident, yes. That's what it'd just be an accident.
And you call them mystery craters. Why is that?
Well, I think they're aptly named because of the amount of geologists we've had through. But originally, we didn't know, of course, what to call them. We didn't even know what they were. But from geologists coming through and having a look at them, it was actually the geologists that named them, not us. So they thought that mystery craters would be a good name for them.
They don't have any explanation as to how they were formed?
Well, not as yet. We've had 54 geologists from all parts of the world, many different countries, and most of them will theorise on them, but as yet we haven't got any geologist that can tell us what's caused them.
Oh, and what are some of the theories on the formations of the mystery craters?
if you'd like to hear some of the differing theories, well, there've been everything from the coastline at one time to the bottom, maybe the bottom of a freshwater lake. The water has dispersed, the freshwater lake has dried out, and this particular type of material has then hardened to form what we have here. Caves in the side of a mountain, the mountain's disintegrated and this fallen flat on its back. Two German geologists say until they're proved wrong that this has to be a meteorite as is, not just that the meteorites have ploughed into it, but the whole thing as a meteorite, whereas most other geologists believe that this is completely natural and has never been touched by man.
When you say meteorite, they think the whole rock
area? The whole rock area, yes.
Is a meteorite in itself?
That's right, yes.
Wouldn't it have exploded?
Well, they say normally they do, but if this had been, it's almost proven beyond doubt that this could have been covered by ocean, and that the meteorite could have lodged in water, or also that it could have been like a freshwater lake, very soft, a swampy area, and that this has driven itself in. Well, this was their theory, that it could have driven itself into the ground with terrific weight and force. And if you look closely at it, you'll see that it is all shattered. Everywhere you look, it is inclined to be shattered, and that it could have almost flown to pieces, but stayed intact. And they seem to think that this was quite possible.
If it is, that would make it quite unique, wouldn't it?
Well, yes.
Other than the fact that it is unique already.
That's right, yes. It's, well, it's not volcanic. It's got no volcanic origin. So this part makes it unique in itself, and that most geologists say that it's the only craters in the world that, we're the only place in the world where there's so many of them so close together, and it not being volcanic makes it unique again. So we've got a two-in-one, you might say, whereas all other craters known have got some volcanic origin for sure.
If it is in fact a huge meteor lodged in the ground, there must be a tremendous amount still buried underground. We would only be walking on the tip of its curved surface. The surface is in fact curved, like it would be if it was a meteor, and Owen says the craters are a lot deeper than he has excavated. He hasn't been able to measure the depth of soil left in the craters. The rock has been identified as a mixture of slitstone, sandstone and red ochre. The Murrans have turned from farmers into exhibitors, and they say that public scepticism is the hardest thing to take, especially when people accuse them of making the craters out of cement. They're definitely not cement, but as to their real origin, we can only wonder.
In all our travels around Australia, we haven't seen anything quite like the mystery craters near Bundaberg. We'd like to thank Mandy Habell for writing and asking the Leyland Brothers.
Barry Tem from St Mary's in South Australia writes and asks to see Cleland National Park near Mount Lofty. So we've come to Cleland to take a walk through this unique wildlife sanctuary, which is divided into a number of sectors. And by simply wandering through each area, the visitor can come face to face with the wild animals. Here there are few cages. Where possible, the animals wander about freely. This provides a rare opportunity to see birds like the Cape Barren goose in close-up as it goes about its normal behaviour. These distinctive geese were confused with swans by the earliest Europeans to see them, but it wasn't long before they realised that their flesh makes good eating, and they were slaughtered in large numbers by early settlers. They feed on grasses and graze in open pastures. This was sufficient reason for early pastoralists to smash their eggs and shoot them on sight, eventually depleting their numbers enough that they were threatened with extinction. Fortunately, these practices are now outlawed, and as a protected species will probably regain their original numbers in time. Here, even the bird aviary is different. Instead of the people looking through the cage at the birds, they walk through a huge enclosure with the birds.
What are the birds up there? Huh? Are the birds up there?
The birds are accustomed to people wandering among them, and once more, this allows close-up observation. But the vast majority of birds at Cleland are not caged, and one pair of friendly kookaburras wait anxiously for the ranger to make his rounds, so they can swoop down and grab the mouse which they know he'll bring for them every day. Kangaroos are popular at all parks, and once more, Here, the emphasis is on the open kind of paddock with animals which are friendly and accustomed to people. All species kept at the park are native to South Australia, and as such represents a place where any animals found in the wild are gathered in one concentration, and you can be sure of seeing them in natural surroundings without the need to search for them in the bush. Probably the most popular of all creatures at Cleland is the koala. This fellow is used to being handled, and almost every visitor enjoys the thrill of holding their own live teddy bear. The koalas are fed every afternoon and appear to enjoy the handling as much as the gum leaves. The hairy-nosed wombat, emblem of South Australia, is a bit of a show-off too, and he too at feeding time emerges from his hollow log to roll over and show off his marsupial pouch for the visitors. The dingoes are about the only creatures here which have anything like a conventional zoo type of enclosure. These wild dogs are too dangerous to allow close contact with the visitors, and although they behave very much like domestic pets, they can be violent and will only permit one of the rangers into their large enclosure, even to feed them. The visitors have a magnificent vantage point to view them from though, safely behind a large fence. But there is no doubt that it is the free nature of the wild animals which is the attraction at Cleland. The large central pond of the park is home for hundreds of water birds, and although they're free to leave and fly away whenever they want, they choose to stay. After all, the ranger comes around every day with a truckload of food. This must be a bird's idea of paradise. With the feeding over, peaceful tranquility returns to the pond, and it is here that most people come and spend many hours watching the various species of water birds. Cleland National Park is only about 20 minutes from the heart of Adelaide, yet here among nature's wild creatures, it's quite possible to imagine that this is some remote part of the wilderness where the animals have never encountered man before and allow him to spy on them. Cormorants provide one of the most interesting spectacles with their diving for fish. Water is the natural habitat for these birds, yet it's curious that their feathers are not waterproof like most aquatic species, and they must dry themselves after each dive. Sally Hart from Toowoomba in Queensland would like to see sheepdogs at work, so we've come to Hay in New South Wales to the Wairima Kelpie stud. Here, Gordon McMasters and his wife Nani breed the famous Australian Kelpies as working dogs. This is the oldest Kelpie stud in the world, started by Gordon's grandfather in 1882. The day begins for the McMasters family with cleaning up chores in the kennel area. All the old bones from yesterday are gathered together and new bones are given out to each dog at the stud. The dogs are fed on raw meat only, but it must be good quality beef. The local butcher supplies 3 large petrol drums per week of meat offcuts. The meat is cut out from the fat, and the fat is boiled down and sold to soap manufacturers. Even the bones are not wasted, they're used to fuel the fire. Only the young pups are supplied with milk every day, in addition to the meat diet. The breed began in 1872, when a bitch named Kelpie won the first dog trials held in the world at Forbes in New South Wales. And ever since then, everyone wanted one of Kelpie's litter. Today, Gordon names his breeding dogs after singers.
For example, I started off with a bitch called Shirley Bassey, and she had a daughter which I call Ella Fitzgerald, and that Ella Fitzgerald had a son who I called Elton John. I've now got another little puppy who was out of Ella Fitzgerald by Ted Heath, and I've called that Olivia Newton-John. I'm not too certain what's going to happen when I join Olivia Newton-John to Elton John.
When they start to walk, first come out of the kennel, we put them onto solids like this. They've been eating solid minced meat now with their milk for, I suppose, 2 days only. This will be their 3rd day today.
At the house, Nani shows Lorraine where the newborn puppies spend their first few days if they're born in the winter time. This bitch has a litter of 10, and to keep such a large brood warm in the chilly winter nights places too much strain on the dog's body heat. So this special box is fitted with an electric blanket.
I think some of these have their eyes open already.
On the land, the sheepdog has earned for himself a reputation as a faithful and willing worker. And it's many a sheep farmer today who operates his station almost single-handedly, thanks to the help of a good dog. In Gordon's opinion, the sheepdog has made the pastoral industry payable in many areas because, as he puts it,
he asks no wages. He is not affected by heat, drought, wars, flies or politics. He follows you day in, day out. And all he requires at the end of that day is a pat, a good feed and a good bath, and he'll do it again. When you're out in the bush and you want to get one sheep out, there are some dogs that you can train, like this red dog Teal, which can see a fly-blown sheep or a lame sheep or a sheep that's sick that you want to take home that can't get to the yard. They will cut that sheep out and holding it as, and so you can go up and grab it and then you can put it on the motorbike and take it home.
An obedient dog which responds to all commands can work a group of sheep very fast. In fact, according to the Guinness Book of Records in a controlled experiment, a group of 15 footballers could not drive a small group of sheep through a hoop as quickly as one sheepdog.
Behind. Steady now. Behind.
Gordon says the only training needed for a good sheepdog is to learn the commands of its master. Handling the sheep is a bred-in instinct, and to illustrate his point, he places a 3-month-old puppy in a yard of lambs.
What that little bitch puppy is doing in front of us now is completely instinct. She has been taught not a thing. That is the first time that pup has ever seen sheep. As I've said before, it's a gamble to when they will work, but obviously that pup wants to go now, and I've always found that females start earlier than males.
Even when this tiny little puppy, 6 weeks and 4 days of age, is placed in the yard, it immediately begins to work the sheep instinctively. It's this kind of inherited instinct which produces the sheepdog champions which the Wairima Kelpie stud is famous for all over the world. The same pup, on its first day's training lesson, soon learns some of the basic commands which will determine its future working life.
Good girl. Sit. Sit. Good pup. Good girl.
Gordon uses a long length of string tied to the dog and run through a swivel which is staked to the ground. This way a dog can be made to stay and come on command by working the strings. In no time, the pup learns what pleases and responds.
Good pup. Come. Come. Sit. Good. Good.
In the yards, when the sheep are being drafted, is where the sheepdog is seen working at his best. 2 of Gordon's best dogs are doing the work here of at least 5 men, and one good dog under these conditions could keep the sheep moving smoothly and continuously for a lone handler operating the gates.
John, get out here. Hop in, John. Right. Swing. All right. Swing in. Here, John. Here, John. Swing it. Here, John. Here, three. Hop in. Get in. Back through. Really? Here, John. Come up. John. Come up. Here, John. Come up. Here, swing. Come up here. Here, John. Swing up. Here, John. Up here, John. Here. All right. Down throw. Back throw. Back throw, John. Hey, John. Hey, John. Swing. Right. Hey, John. John.
Man's best friend on the average sheep station is more than a friend. He's a working station hand, who not only works at any hour, but works with an enthusiasm which would be difficult to better in his human counterpart. I think we'll let Gordon have the last comment.
I believe the Australian sheepdog, may he be a border collie, a purebred Kelpie, or a complete and utter so-called mongrel breed. That dog, if he is a top dog, has made Australian pastoral industry.
Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland Brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, no matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland Brothers.